In the Game of Thrones, we hated when they won and relished when they died. Or wished it. Hey guys, it's Phoebe from WatchMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most hated Game of Thrones characters.
Think you know Game of Thrones? Click below to sign in with your Google or Facebook account and take the new trivia quiz on WatchMojo.com.
We're looking at the most infuriating, loathed characters on this popular HBO series. But you won't find Ed Sheeran on this list. Spoilers ahead.
It's
a pretty song. I've never heard it before.
It's a new one.
Number 10, High Sparrow.
To die in the service of the gods would please each and every one of us. We yearn for it.
He may not have a real name, but the High Sparrow still made us curse his title. A folk religious leader, the High Sparrow is given power by Cersei, which he uses to bring down nobles for their apparent sins, including Cersei herself.
Am I free to go?
After your atonement.
Although we had mixed feelings about seeing her get taken down a peg, many of those the High Sparrow persecutes don't deserve the punishments he inflicts on them. While it could be argued that he might be seeking power for the betterment of the common people, his holier-than-thou attitude and draconian methods haven't won him any fans.
You mutilated him. You gave me your word.
And I've kept my word.
Number 9, Olly.
Hide! Hide!
While not necessarily a true villain, this boy is still hated. Olly is a northern boy whose family is killed by wildlings in an attack south of the Wall. Seeking shelter with the Night's Watch, Olly joins them and even takes part in the battle. However, he kills Ygritte, Jon Snow's love. Granted, she did kill his dad, and she and Jon were probably doomed anyway. But even so, it was a mark against the boy. But that was nothing compared to Olly's growing discontent with Jon's plan for the wildlings. His own experiences with them led him to take part in the mutiny and murder of Jon, landing the final blow. Does anyone else feel bad about being glad when he was hanged? Number 8, Lysa Arryn.
You want a trial, my Lord Lannister? Very well. My son will listen to whatever you have to say, and you will hear his judgment. Then you will leave.
While there are plenty of people to lay the blame on for the various awful events that happen in Westeros, one of the main catalysts for them is this woman. The sister of Catelyn Stark, Lysa Arryn is also the widow of Jon Arryn, the murdered hand of the king before Ned Stark. While she's an overprotective and somewhat creepy mother to her son Robin, who's rather hateable too, it's her love for Littlefinger, more on him later, that gets her most of the hate.
That's what happens to people who stand between Petyr and me!
Her devotion to the slimy manipulator causes her to attempt to kill her own niece, but it also drove her to poison her husband and blame it on the Lannisters at Littlefinger's direction, beginning the feud between the two houses.
What wife would trust you the way I've trusted you? When you gave me those drops and told me to pour them into Jon's wine, my husband's wine.
Number 7, Septa Unella.
My son. Let me speak to him. Confess.
Although the High Sparrow may or may not be a pious man with the best intentions, the same cannot be said for all his followers. Septa Unella is a woman of the faith with an extremely stern and serious disposition. Because of her strength, she's often charged with handling female prisoners of the faith and physically chastising or humiliating them, a task she appears to relish more than necessary. Plus, there's her infamous chant during Cersei's walk of, what was it again?
Shame! Shame!
That's right. Or maybe it was atonement. Regardless, Unella's role in the event helped drive Cersei to exact a rather cruel and unusual punishment on the Septa.
Shame!
Number 6, Ellaria Sand.
My lord, my lady.
Charmed.
The paramour of Oberyn Martell, Prince of Dorne and the mother of several of his daughters, Ellaria Sand is sharp-tongued and proud, but not hateable when first introduced. However, after her lover's death in a duel, she becomes rather bitter and lashes out, looking for someone to blame. She seeks revenge on the Lannisters and starts by poisoning and murdering Myrcella, Jaime and Cersei's daughter. Furthermore, she murders Oberyn's brother for not taking the revenge she thought was necessary, staging a coup in Dorne. Because that's what Oberyn would have wanted, for Ellaria to kill an innocent girl and his own brother.
The Your son is weak, just like you. And weak men will never rule Dorne again.
Given that she epitomizes everything the show got wrong about Dorne, it's little wonder fans relished her punishment from Cersei.
Your daughter will die here in this cell. And you will be here watching when she does.
Number 5. Petyr Baelish.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
Arguably the most devious character in Game of Thrones, Petyr Baelish is one of the most brilliantly evil minds in Westeros. A once minor lord, as evidenced by his nickname, Littlefinger climbs his way to the top using his wits, bribes, spies, murder, and betrayal to achieve his ends. His directions led Lysa Arryn to kill her husband, and he later killed her. He betrayed Ned Stark, which got him executed. Then there's everything he put Sansa through. Littlefinger is a character we hate to love and love to hate, so it was immensely satisfying when his lies were brought to an end. Number 4. Cersei Lannister.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.
The Lannisters are a much-hated family in general, but Cersei is probably the worst of the lot. Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, Cersei retains that title through murder, betrayal, and manipulation. Smug, superior, and incredibly short-sighted, Cersei's actions frequently lead to grief for both herself and all of Westeros, such as having her husband killed, driving her own son to suicide, her affair with her brother and cousin, or giving the High Sparrow power. We almost feel sorry for her sometimes, but her intractable spitefulness and the fact that she's a mass murderer really keep us from being too sympathetic.
Let the monsters kill each other. And while they battle in the north, we take back the lands that belong to us.
And then what?
And then we rule.
Number 3. Walder Frey.
Stark, Tully, Lannister, Baratheon. Give me one good reason why I should waste a single thought on any of you.
The ancient lord of House Frey, Walder Frey is a minor tyrant who has used his castle's position over a river to extort anyone trying to cross it. Prideful, lecherous, and cowardly, Walder is just a terrible human being, but his worst deed is perhaps the most infamous in the history of Game of Thrones, and possibly television in general. After feeling slighted that Robb Stark didn't honor his word to marry one of his daughters, Walder conspires with others to have Robb, his family, and his men murdered at Robb's uncle's wedding, in the notorious Red Wedding.
The king in the north arises.
We cheered to see the vicious codger killed at last by Arya. All in all, we think the Blackfish said it best.
And that is
I've
why we
seen
have
wet shits I like better than Walder Frey.
Number 2. Ramsay Bolton.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Though we have to send our regards to his father, Roose, Ramsay Snow and later Bolton is the bigger bastard, both figuratively and literally. The illegitimate heir of Roose, Ramsay is, well, just a sick-twisted, abhorrent individual. He delights in torturing and tormenting everyone he encounters, doing unspeakable things to both Theon Greyjoy and Sansa Stark, and even murdering his father, brother, and mother-in-law. The honest joy he gets from others' suffering makes him so incredibly hateable that not even being eaten alive by his own starving dogs gave us even an ounce of sympathy for him. Good riddance. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
But you, Lord Snow, you'll be fighting their battles forever.
Was it without question poison that killed him?
Without question.
You'll address me as Prince Theon, or you'll be next.
You think she's sweet because she smiles when you visit. She is sullen and stubborn and sinful. Why else would the Lord of Light have seen fit to mark her face? She needs the rod.
And I see this one staring too long. I might just gouge his eyes out.
Number 1. Joffrey Baratheon.
Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
Yeah, you all knew this was coming. Cersei's son and supposed heir to the Iron Throne, Joffrey is a spoiled, cowardly, vicious, sadistic fool whose callous actions caused untold heartache for the land he rules over and for the audience. Joffrey's sadism and wanton cruelty extends to just about everyone he meets.
Every time I use it, it'll be like cutting off Ned Stark's head all over again.
His lack of tact or spine frequently gets him and the realm into trouble, like starting a riot and a war, and it's only through luck in his position that he isn't killed sooner. His luck blessedly runs out eventually though, and just when we think we can't hate him anymore, he finally dies choking for air. It's really a credit to his actor that Joffrey manages to be just so damn hateable.
My father won the real war. He killed Prince Rhaegar. He took the crown while you hid on a costly rock.
Who doesn't love a good purple wedding? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our Game of Thrones playlist for everything Westerosi. And between you and me, we have something really special coming up for the final season of Game of Thrones, so keep an eye out.